and welcome to my channel. My name is Sierra. I'm sitting here trying to put on lotion because my hand's ashy. This is our first video together. I'm a little nervous. Literally last night I was like, okay, we're gonna do a week of workouts with me because I mean I work out anyway, I film it anyway, so let's just do it. Let's show the people what I do. So I always start my split on Sundays because I work on Sundays, so technically Sunday is like a Monday to me in a way, I guess. So let's get into it. All right, fam. So we're gonna start off strong with the full leg day. I didn't get to film it here, but I did do a 5-minute walk on the treadmill along with some dynamic stretching just to open up my hips and my legs and all that great stuff. So our first lift is gonna be a barbell squat. We're gonna do 4 sets of 8 to 10 of these, increasing the weight where we can or when we can. Personally, I don't go really heavy on my squats. That's just not my MO. But I try to go, go to where it's challenging, I guess. So once again, 4 sets of 8 to 10 of those. Really focusing on not having a little butt wink, as they call it. But yeah. And then right after that, we're going to get into our first superset, which is dumbbell single leg RDLs and leg extensions. So with the RDLs, I'm going to do 4 sets of 8 to 10 of those, really concentrating on the way down, not, having my head up and extending my back, but feeling it right in my glutes and hamstrings. So once again, I do 4 sets of 8 to 10 of those. Then we're going to hop on into some leg extensions. And we're going to do 4 sets of 8 to 10 of those as well. This day I normally go pretty decently heavy on my leg extensions, but not to the point where I just can't lift the weight up at all. So our last superset is going to be some leg press, along with some walking lunges. So with the leg press, I do 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. As you can see, I go pretty heavy on this. And then my walking lunges, I use 2 dumbbells. Honestly, I think these were 15 pounds. And I do 3 sets of 10. So I do 5 on each leg walking up and then 5 on each leg walking back. I must say I do not like lunges one bit. I really don't. Then we get into some calf raises. I do 4 sets of 25 of these. And that is all for day 1. Okay, so now we're into day 2 where we're going to do an upper body workout, which is shoulders, biceps, and triceps. So started out with some dumbbell shoulder press, increasing the weight each time that I do a new set, I guess. But I do 4 sets of 8 to 10 of those. Yeah. You see me. I don't really know what else to say, but yeah, 4 sets of 8 to 10 of those. And then after that, we get into our first superset, which is some Skullcrushers along with some dumbbell front raises. So for Skullcrushers, I use a straight bar. You'll see me lean back right here. And I move my hands in so that my elbows are close to my chest. And I go ahead, lift it up, and I hinge it on back to start working my triceps. Once again, 4 sets of 8 to 10 of those. And that's supersetted with some dumbbell front raises where, I'm sorry you can't see my face, but I do 4 sets of 8 to 10 of these, going honestly kind of lighter, but yeah. Then I go into some hammer curls, 4 sets of 8 to 10. I didn't get to film me doing the Skullcrushers that went along with these, well, not Skullcrushers, tricep overhead press that went along with these, but you get the gist. Then my last superset is going to be some cable lateral raises. I'm going to do 3 sets of 8 to 10 of those, along with some cable curls, where I do 3 sets of 8 to 10 as well. With each cable movement, you want to make sure that you're feeling it in the area that you're working. So right here, I'm working my shoulder, and right here, I'm working my bicep, really keeping my arms and everything close to my body. So yeah. So now we're going to get into day 3, which is glutes and hamstrings. So first, I go ahead and I start out with some hip adductions and abductions. I superset both of these with one another. I do 3 sets of 12 of each. I go moderately heavy on both of these movements, just to activate my hips and get them pretty much up and running. And then we're going to hop into our first exercise, which is some dumbbell RDLs. So I normally do regular RDLs, but this day was pretty busy at the gym. So I did 4 sets of 12 to 15 of the dumbbell RDLs, increasing where I could, but, you know, kind of not going super duper heavy just because I didn't want my back to start hurting or my form to not be great, pretty much. So that part. Then we're going to go ahead and grab a bench, and we're going to do some dumbbell hip thrusts. Once again, it was crazy busy in the gym, so I was not able to do regular hip thrusts, sadly, but it's okay. We got to get it how we live. So with the hip thrusts, we're going to do 4 sets of 15, 15, 12, and then 8 to 10. So our first set will be 15, our second set will be 15, and then our third set will be 12, and our last set will be 8 to 10. Once again, increasing the weight where you can, but not trying to, unalive yourself, pretty much. So then we're going to get into our very last exercise, which is some Bulgarian split squats with a small rotation at the front right there. You see me coming down, and I rotate. And this helps you feel it more in your outer glute. This is my first time actually doing this exercise, and I must say it was definitely hard, but I would definitely be doing it again because the pump at the end was so immaculate. All right, so now we're back with day 4, which is chest and back. Honestly, one of my top 2 favorite days. So I start off strong with some dumbbell bench press. I normally don't go crazy heavy on this, but enough. And I do 4 sets of 8 to 12 of those. And then I do my first superset, which is some incline dumbbell chest press, supersetted with some dumbbell rows. So on these, I do 4 sets of 8 to 10 on the incline. And then, just making sure I'm increasing the weight where I can. If I can't increase it, it is what it is. We're just going to get the workout done. And then I'm going to go ahead and adjust that seat a little bit up so that I can grab onto it to do my rows. And I do 4 sets of 8 to 12 of these. I actually go pretty heavy. I think this was a 50, and I normally don't go above about a 60, but did 4 sets of 8 to 12 of those. Then we hop into our second superset, which is some single arm lat pull downs, supersetted with lat pull downs, just the regular version. I did 3 sets of 8 to 10 of both of those exercises, really focusing attention in my lat, not really coming up with my shoulder, using my bicep more. So that part. And I really do squeeze at the bottom. That's like my biggest, piece of advice. Just squeeze at the bottom. Then our last thing is going to be some cable press downs. You come almost, not all the way up, but a little bit up, and then you press on back down. So yeah, so that's it for day 4. So now we're on our 5th and final day of workouts. So we're going to do a quad day. So I start out with some hat squats where I did 4 sets of 8 to 12 of these. Please keep in mind that I do warm up before I work out any day, but I just didn't film my warm up. So I am sorry for that. But once again, doing hat squats, 4 sets of 8 to 12, increasing weight where I can. So then I get into my first superset, which includes some goblet squats supersetted with leg extensions. So with goblet squats, I stayed at the same weight, but I did 4 sets of 8 to 10. If I didn't already say that, I don't even know. But anyway, maybe I did. I don't know. Now we're gonna get into some leg extensions right here. I adjust my seat to make sure that I'm, in a comfortable position. But I start out with 4 sets of 8 to 10 of these, right? So I do 8 to 10 on both legs, pretty moderately heavy. And then right about here, you're going to see me drop my weight by half. And I'm going to get into doing 8 reps of that lower weight. So right here, I'm going to go pretty slow and control, really contracting the muscle. And this literally demolishes my quads every time I do them. Every single time. Okay, now we're going to get into my very least favorite exercise, which is walking lunges. I hate these, but I do 3 sets of 10 of those. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.